Hello and welcome back to Choices. Before I jump into it, I do know if you're paying attention, the last time I was here, I said the next time we'll be doing it, I'll be in Iceland and then in Ireland. I did go to Iceland, I did go to Ireland. I had an amazing time, but I was too busy to stop, bring my computer, and actually do this. So Carl and I missed each other. We've been catching up, which was wonderful. So today we're going to be talking about awareness. Before we Actually, I'm going to let him go right into it because one of the questions that I have, and everyone really does understand awareness, even something as simple as when we're driving somewhere. A lot of times we get there, we won't even be aware that we got there. It's like autopilot. So one of the questions I have for Carl, when you think about awareness, you often look through the lens of the body. Uh, when did you first realize that our bodies are giving us information long before we pay attention? This is so your wheelhouse.
So it's interesting. I mean, realistically, it goes back to childhood, cuts, scrapes, falls, all of that kind of stuff becomes an awareness that we have a mortality, that we need to take care of ourselves. We do it to greater or lesser degrees. I remember riding my bike and having so much fun with tree roots in the sidewalks that I went airborne and went head first into a tree and was knocked out cold next to the sidewalk. You know, when you do that sort of thing, you become aware that you need to change some of what you do and start living within some rules that make sense for you. And we all have metabolic function going on in our body, figuring out how to impact that positively obviously becomes an awareness. And awareness to me leads to understanding and education, trying to get at the root and understanding who, what, where, when, how, all of those questions. We need to make sure that we have the awareness of the world around us so that if we have the plan to live long, like I do, we can do it to the best of our abilities. And that stems from understanding the world we live in.
How do you, when you wake up in the morning, I know you at this point probably live from a place of awareness, but for someone who is driving unconsciously, brushing their teeth unconsciously, just doing all the things unconsciously. What do you think would be the first thing for, we'll say a guy in your case, it might be different for a woman, it might be the same, but to become aware as soon as you open your eyes in the morning, to me, it's just being aware that your eyes are open. But
Right, right. It really comes from the positive brain power that I believe I possess when I get up in the morning after taking stock of my aches and pains.
that's still being
You know,
aware.
I then overcome all of that with the fact that I am awake and I have things that I enjoy doing on a daily basis. And so, taking stock becomes the deal when I get up in the day and just going through a mental thought process just to put myself in the right frame of mind so that the rest of the things that happen come from a good place.
Are you conscious of that before you go to bed at night, or do you wait till that morning? Because I know for me, if I definitely go to the gym twice a week because I have a trainer, but I also try to go the other days myself. But I will literally put my gym clothes next to me, so I'm almost like stepping on them in the morning. So I try to make that choice the night before. So when I do wake up, I have that awareness. Okay, this was the decision I made. Now I'm going to follow through. And I don't always follow through, but when I do, I
Yeah,
feel good.
you definitely have more of a commitment than I do. I'm looking forward to having a good day. Some days are more full of activities than others. I mean, today is one of those days. I taught the 4 hour class this morning. We're going to spend our time together today, and then I'm off to pick up a bunch of buddies at 3:15 to go clay shooting at Steak and Clay's event. So we're going to have a steak dinner and shoot clays later on tonight, and it's going to be one of those full days. And um, I do need to get better at focusing on getting enough sleep. I do focus on getting enough water and that sort of stuff, but I'm having way too much fun to go to bed at night. And so I wait till I'm real tired and then my head hits the pillow and I'm out.
It,
And then next
it
thing I know, the alarm clock is going off and I've got to move on to the day's activities. But yeah,
since I came back, I because of the time change and everything else, we came back from Europe on Sunday, and I was so exhausted. I went to bed at 8:30 that night, and I was wide awake at 5 in the morning, and I absolutely loved it. And since then, I've been saying to myself, I am going to at least be soaking in the tub or in my bed at 9 or 9:30, and I've been able to do that. So when the alarm does go off at 6 in the morning, I'm not wanting to hit snooze. Plus, it helps
yeah,
that the sun is shining in the window and all of that. But all of that, and it's again, it's awareness of
it
I,
it
I
is. Yeah.
I love being aware of the sun coming in the window. My partner wants the blinds closed on his side because I need that to wake up. He needs coffee and a shower. I just need sunlight, which I love.
Yeah, that awareness part. I mean, it's interesting. We talk about brain power and this and that. There are certain things that, fit into my filter of scotoma. I know I need more sleep. I just don't ever get it. I know I should do more exercise. I just don't ever do it. And I write it off to being in a position where I'm just having such a good time at what I'm doing that to me, those would seem somewhat like chores. Yet we have to have a dedicated part of our life as well. So we need to be aware that certain things we need to do if we want to achieve the longevity that I'm striving for anyway.
Well, I think the bonus for you also is like you may not be exercising the traditional way, but given the food that have chosen not to
Yeah.
eat, the sugar and the carbs, that
Yeah.
actually that is a huge benefit. I think there's
It,
times if I had a choice, if I could be that disciplined, I may not have to work out as much. You know what I mean? It's like I think about that a lot. I haven't been able to do it yet. I still love my
yeah.
bread and I love my spuds.
Believe me, I get all of that. We are a taste-driven society. There isn't a social event we don't go to that doesn't have lots of food.
Yeah.
It's just the way we have been brought up. I fortunately have the brain power to look at food as fuel,
Mm,
and I want the best fuel coming into my system. Any carb I see, to me, it's poison. And I just mentally have to look at it that way, or you could succumb to saying I can cheat here, I can cheat there, and it can be done, and you can survive them. It all can work. I just don't want to do that. So I have to be aware of what I'm up to at any given moment. Certainly when it comes to food, I'm on heightened awareness when it comes to all food. And it tends to drive people a little crazy. I'm in my discussions with friends, they all know how I am about food, a little bit the zealot when it comes to that. But I've had any number of friends that have succeeded greatly because of conversations that we started about food. And, one guy that's lost 110 pounds, another guy that shrunk the size of his liver. When you become aware of these
mm,
things as part of a health, I mean, you realize there's so much it can do. You shared that little article with what's his name? I wrote it down here. Curtis Palmer, or is that his name? Chris Palmer. Yeah, and he really is on the cutting edge of the connection between mental health and food.
mm.
And there is such a strong connection between our digestive system and our brain Um, and that connection is so strong that they can actually inject GLP-1 now drugs into your body to short circuit that connection and make you think you're full when you're not full, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
eliminate that craving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find that I know if I go to like a house party or something, I will never go hungry because if I do, I'm going to be just picking and not. But to have a good breakfast before I leave in the morning and to be drinking water, because if I'm around it, I could eat it even if I'm not hungry.
Yeah. No, it's habit. It's
Mm.
all old habit. And we love the taste. And so, we just jump in on a taste level alone, let alone we're not hungry. We just want that taste. And so it's a battle, a mental battle to get to the place where it just doesn't affect you in that way, and you're aware of the negative aspects. Um, I think I might have told you, I've got to send you the link, but this great guy that I've connected with on YouTube, John, who calls himself the carnivore teacher, he did a complete series. He's still working on it through all of the vegetables.
Wow.
And he's very even-handed about the pros and the cons of every vegetable. Uh, Bottom line, I don't believe we need a vegetable ever. Don't need a fruit ever. There's no such thing as an essential carb. We could go carnivore. I choose not to. I'm ketogenic, so I'll do some strawberries and I'll do some blueberries and some of that stuff, which is a little self-gratification. But I'm aware that when I do that, it's not quite as healthy as it could be.
And what are the changes like when you go to the doctor and you check your blood pressure and cholesterol and all of that? How much of a difference have you seen yourself? Because I think that's what we need to be focusing on, less about food. Food is almost like just the mask of what we're preventing from getting healthier.
Yeah, perfectly honest, I always had great blood levels, even when I was 300 pounds. I was never pre-diabetic, had good blood pressure, cholesterol always good. The Italian genes worked well there. All of that, the pain in my joints should have let me know early, early on that I needed this change, but I was happy to live with that. Again, I stumbled upon it by accident, visiting some friends, thought it made sense, started going that way, and then started researching and getting deeper and deeper and more research, deeper and deeper, and realized that, wow, this is the way everybody should live.
Mm.
While you were gone, and again, awareness of food and that sort of stuff, there was a very sad news article about a mother and father who were being indicted for murder. Their 7-year-old son died at 255 pounds.
Wow.
And I believe they should be indicted for manslaughter. I mean, doing that to a child is just unconscionable in my estimation. Who knows what they were trying to do? But, you know, being healthy is what it's all about. We all tend to joke about the fact that when you got your health, you got everything. Yet who lives that way?
Mhm. Not many. Yeah.
Not enough people are
How
aware that
how old was this kid that died? I didn't hear about it.
seven,
Oh my God.
255 pounds at 7 years old.
Well, there's only one place to look at the cause of that is the
Yeah,
home and the environment and
yeah.
wow,
That's why mom and dad are under indictment, as I believe they should be.
that's wild.
Yeah,
Well, we time flies, you know that, especially when we're talking. We weren't even sure where this conversation was going to go to today, but I think we covered quite a few aspects. And the one thing I'll say is awareness is the birthplace of every choice we make. Once we've become aware, we're no longer simply reacting. We have the opportunity to choose differently. And this is what it's all about choices. And we will continue. having different topics. If you choose to join us, and if you choose to share or like these podcasts, we both would really appreciate it. I know I do. I know Carl would.
Absolutely.
Any thoughts you want to leave our listeners to with?
Um, just that it is that 6 inches between our ears that's going to control our life, our being, and that we really need to be on a path to control that positively. And I get that there are a lot of challenges in the world. Sometimes we don't feel like we want to be in control. We'd rather give that control to somebody else, something else. But ultimately, it comes down to us, and we need to take the job seriously.
And I was thinking the word I was using because I was talking to people. I got the opportunity, whoever would listen to me in Ireland, and I would say, because sometimes the word control has like a negative thought, and it was about to manage our own thoughts, to
Yeah.
manage our own decisions. And
Yep.
it's cool. I think we just need to keep talking about it.
We're
Till
going
next
to.
time, take care.
Ciao.